Here we are in 2025. The question you got to be asking yourself is what will happen to me, the individual? Are prices going to continue to rise? Is inflation going to get out of control? And of course, what's Jerome Powell going to do with interest rates? You came here for the truth, so let me unveil that for you. Today's video will be jam-packed. I'm going to show you the details and the data that you need to know to make the best decisions with your retirement account, with your stock portfolio, your real estate. Should I buy? Should I rent? All of that here today. The information needs to be unveiled like layers of an onion, okay? So stick with me. I'm going to move through it as quick as I possibly can. My name is David Quintieri. I've been doing this since 2011. I am here with the red lights on because it's late at night so that you can understand things so simply. You don't have to look into all the details. I'll bring it to you. Sources in the description. You got this. First thing, credit card charge-offs and delinquencies hit a 13-year high. 13-year high. I've shown this in different ways. I've been looking at it and we can see that this has gone up. The subprime borrowers in particular are struggling. Is it a surprise? Absolutely not, because we have seen this coming. Of course, if you're going to increase interest rates, you're going to be dealing with this. This isn't for, depending on where you look, if you're looking at prime or subprime, if you're looking at certain things, it's getting real bad. Others are sort of moderate. So we are not back in the 2008 financial crisis timeframe for some elements. For example, prime borrowers on, mortgages. That's not the case. That isn't the case, but we need to understand where we are headed. Where are the trends? U.S. credit card defaults jump to the highest level since 2010. People are, in fact, tapped out. And what does this mean to you? You say, hey, this has nothing to do with me. I'm paying my bills. I'm fine. No, let me break it down here because you got to understand how this unravels. From the FT, the Great Wealth Transfer, a 20-year U.S. study found that 70% of wealthy families lost their wealth by the second generation and 90% by the third. What does that mean about this wealth? If you've accumulated some, you made money in the stock market, you made money in cryptocurrencies, don't expect that what you've had in the past will continue into the future. I will show you what has happened in the stock market and the expectations of 2025. You see, things have looked real wacky over the last little while, and I want to break that down for you. Many people are heavily burdened. In this case, Wall Street Journal, insurance and taxes now cost more than mortgages for many homeowners. So there are burdens everywhere we turn, and it's getting much more difficult to be able to pass anything down because of inflation, because of price increases, because of health difficulties that people have. So we need to take action, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Fed's Daily, Kugler, stress. The inflation fight has not been won. You can read some of those quotes if you are interested. Links are in the description. And I'm just going to highlight the fact that, hey, job's not done. We're not at 2% yet. We still want to get there. What does that mean? Cuts will be less than what the market had hoped. I still think that there will be cuts, but what did we get the last time around? There was less than what the market wanted. There was 0.25% versus 0.5%. That's a big deal because it signals slower on that progress. And the markets didn't want that. Investors didn't want that. But the United States dollar has been strong as a result. Other countries are going faster. Canada's going faster. They're weakening their currency. In the case of the United States, very different story. What will you do as a result of this information? What actions will you take if you believe interest rates will remain a little bit higher than what you anticipated? Start to think of that as we move through the rest of this video. You got to understand, as time goes on, there are changes that are going to happen. The stock market has been doing exceptionally well. 2024, it bet all of the analyst expectations. And this just shows us that average returns are normal. Normal returns are extreme. Isn't that interesting, the way things go? We have this swinging back and forth like a pendulum. Stocks are positive 73% of the time. And this is why I tell people all the time, despite, there's individuals in the comments that will inevitably come up. Please put your comments in to support the channel. You see this don't bet against the market unless it's very obvious, like what was happening when the whole world was locking down in 2020. And I was yelling and screaming for people to say, like, how easy and obvious this is, people. Okay, 73% of the time, you don't want to be betting against that unless you have an edge. You understand? That doesn't mean you go all in. That doesn't mean you put everything on that. It means that you have to be strategic about it. Okay? In the long term, it's just showing you here. It is worth noting that these periods of well above average returns were followed by well below average returns. So always be careful. It's a pendulum, and you've got to be careful that you're not, oh, I'm going to get in at the top and you're buying Fartcoin and that thing's going to zero. Just be careful. Right now, by the way, everyone's getting rich on Fartcoin. So maybe you want to get in on that. No, I'm just kidding. Global manufacturing PMI output index has contracted. This is one of the very few statistics, very few actually, that have, we're talking mainstream statistics, that has shown a contraction. In most cases, actually, all of the information is showing the United States is doing very well. When we start to spread out, we look outward, okay, then we can look at the manufacturing indexes, then we could look at global exports and imports and all these different things, permits, everything else. And when I look at the United States, the picture is much more rosy than the globe as a whole. If you start to exclude the US from the equation, it gets real ugly because it's not there lifting everything up. So be mindful of that as well. There's a real economy though. If you're seeing who's importing, who's exporting, who's got the money, right? Who's got the money and who's doing all these things. In the case of manufacturing PMI, you could break that down actually by country. Looking at this, India and Philippines doing real well, especially India. They're really accelerating their manufacturing. And who's at the bottom of that list? Let's be honest, it's Europe, right? Okay. As a result of everything that's happening today, people are taking action. They're buying gold. They are buying gold. And then you've got emerging market countries. They're buying a lot of gold too, right? So for you, the individual, what do you need to know? US dollar is getting stronger. You could see that it's increasing. People are buying gold. They are buying real assets. They are buying, guess what? Farmland. Farmland. That's right. What am I doing? I am trying to preserve wealth. I am trying to expand globally. I sell products to multiple countries, multiple continents now, and I'm doing so on multiple online platforms. I'm doing this so I could diversify geographically and currency diversification. There's nobody that I know anyway that's diversifying as much as I am in the way that I am, all different types of things, but this is most recent. Why am I doing this? How am I doing this? All things that I've talked about before. If you want free information, go to the Money GPS and the YouTube channel, scroll down, and then you see the playlist all about Amazon. It's all free stuff in there if you want. That's what I do. Amazon is one of those platforms. TikTok Shop, another platform, Walmart, another platform. I mean, there's so many that you should be looking at. Why? Because I want that diversification and I see that the world is changing. If I'm going to invest, I'm looking very strongly at the United States, which sectors are poised to do real well. Back in 2020, I was yelling and screaming about uranium. I was talking about lumber. We saw what happened with those at the time. I can't give like buy and sell signals, okay, all the time. With my live group, I do give much more about that. But that's not what this is, right? There's other YouTubers that do that, and there's companies that you pay for those services and so on. But I want you to know that you as an individual need to think about things for yourself and understand, how am I going to, make ends meet? How am I going to do things, at a much deeper level? Because if you're just working a 9 to 5 and you're like, hey, I hope everything works out for me, you're going to be punished. Because what I'm telling you before, these individuals, they can't even afford their home, not even because of the mortgage. It's the insurance. It's all those other costs. So you have to start thinking outside the box. What are you doing? Let me know. You can let me know. You want to get in free on the Finance Live class? You could talk to me directly. This is sponsored by one of the individuals inside of the Finance Friday. And because of that, I am basically getting you in here, just click that link in the description, do the giveaway. Okay. I do this every week, every time I make a video anyway. And right now for this one, I want you to get in this, and hopefully you will win. And then I could see you directly, and everybody that gets in, especially in the last, let's say, year or 6 months, it's just been improving along the way. I can help you. You give me information, I help you. I mentor people in private. I do so in a more, semi-private situation. I want to help you. I want to see that change. I am, doing things that's very different from a lot of other individuals out there. I get that, but you got to do what you can as an individual. Start a business, invest properly, have some diversification, get into the things where you see the wave. When you see that wave coming in, you can ride that wave. That doesn't mean that you follow the trend on everybody else. That means, okay, clearly we're not doing horse and buggy anymore. I don't want to invest in horse and buggy. I'm going this direction. Okay. Like there's obvious big trends that we want to be in on. Okay. There's certain countries that is not looking very good. And then suddenly, for instance, you might see a very big trend change in another particular country saying, hey, I like what they're doing over there. And then you start to say, okay, well, if that country's going to do better, maybe they're going to do more export. Let me check out which companies they have in that country. And then you start doing that investigation, and you can get in at a lower level. These are basic things. If you want more specifics, I'm always open, to let everybody know. But I mean, just look at my playlist on the channel. There's so much stuff where I get into the basics. You could also go to themoneygps.com/compass, or just themoneygps.com. Go there and get Compass. That's the basics right there, all for free. No email, no paywall, no nothing. Okay, while the website's still operational. I'm surprised they said they were going to shut it down on me because they went out of business. But anyway, the hosting company. If you want to be able to get into the live sessions for the business, you just want to email me, whatever. It's themoneygps.com/live. You go in there, you can watch this video that I got up, and then you could go down to the bottom and you can basically message me if you want. Message me, get some information. People do it all the time. And you're like, hey, I'm just interested. What can you do? What can I do? What need some help? Let me know. Okay. Always willing to help anybody who's willing to learn. All right. So with that, I want you to get on the giveaway. Don't say, what? It's free for you. You can get in on one session for free. So why not? Okay. Get on. And if you just want to join up and you want to build a business, you want to build an online business, you want to learn how to diversify your currency and all that, get in. Come on. themoneygps.com. I'll see you there. And of course, hit that thumbs up button to support the channel. Take care. Red lights on before bed. All right. See ya.